Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are once again back again, playing a little bit of Pathfinder, having a little bit of a mess around, and enjoying a couple of bits and pieces. I'm going to do some housekeeping to start with, some very simple housekeeping. Firstly, if the sound balance of this episode is slightly off, there are reasons because I've been messing around with my computer. I know it's a fairly standard thing for me to do. Just be warned, it does happen. I am, however, checking and passing things through various stuff, so it shouldn't be an issue. But that's on me before anybody says anything else, and I will obviously take any comments that come my way if I have messed stuff up. Secondly, we have also, even though I kind of said I wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not, if I was going to leave things the same, I have updated Foundry, and I have updated all of the stuff to do with Foundry. Case in point of things that are going wrong, I've just noticed that my camera and a couple of other people's cameras have stopped moving. Oh no, it's just mine.
It's a
Blooming thing. Right,
so
yes.
rub it down with the right angulant.
Yeah.
I mean angulant.
So we are back. We are back after my camera paused partway through recording already. So we're starting well. We've updated Foundry. I said I wasn't going to do this because I didn't know what the impact was going to be. Firstly, for Pathfinder itself, because Pathfinder Remastered is showing up and they're putting a load of that stuff in. What I have discovered is that they are just bringing it all into the Pathfinder module as it is. So there is a slight downside there. We are having some impact because of this, and there's going to be some knock-on effect. Hopefully not too much, but there is going to be some. For instance, these guys, and I know it's going to happen, there is a spell called Burning Hands, which has been renamed, and we're almost certainly going to call it Burning Hands. We know we are. It's going to happen. It's not called Burning Hands in Pathfinder Remastered. It's called Breathe Fire. These things happen. They've renamed things, and they have good reason to do that. We do not necessarily believe that we will always get this 100% right, and there will be things that change. Sylvan is gone. That is now not a language. It is just Fey as a language. So there's bits and pieces all over the place. However, I was starting to get to the point where I was starting to wonder what we were going to be able to maintain and do with the system that we had, with the Foundry setup that we had, if we didn't update. Especially seeing as effectively all of the version 10 stuff was going to start going into a point where it wasn't going to be supported, and if you were running on 10, then goodness knows what would have happened if you found a problem. So we've updated. Now, it has caused one tiny issue for me and one other player, which is that for some unknown reason, our window has moved up a few mil, and we now can't see the top line of Foundry. It's just vanished. It doesn't stop us seeing the maps, which is what we need, and it isn't going to massively impact. But I've been tinkering with this thing all day and not had this problem. And now all of a sudden we're recording, it's just reared its ugly head for two of us. It's the impact of technology as soon as you need to use it. So these things are on there. However, it has meant that we've gained a whole bunch of other stuff, like tooltips on hover over effects without actually having to open up like pages and pages of windows. It's given us an entire page which has all of the player stats on, including their highest value, because it's got a party sheet in it, which is really, really cool. I've just noticed that on the cog button, which is like all of the configuration settings and everything else, down, there is a remastered changes button, which shows you all of the things that have changed in the remastered edition or will be changing in it. So they've done quite a lot of good stuff, and the graphics actually, in my opinion, they've not necessarily improved, but they're just a little bit neater. They're just a little bit sharper. So it's quite nice in that regard. That's our two housekeepings. We've done, I've done a bit of admin and tried to make sure that things are up to date. That could cause some impact. We will see what happens. Oh, hello. Go on. What have you spotted?
I've just spotted in the bottom of the Foundry screen where I can see it. I am tagged to the original character that was in the party and not to Inver.
You are. I will. I can go to user configuration and I can release the character, and now you should be able to right-click on your name down at the bottom there and configure yourself and select which character you're actually assigned to.
Ooh, that's cool.
So yes.
Player pronouns box as well. Amazing. Let's do that.
So yeah, there are bits and pieces all over there which are really, really useful. So yes, I quite like Foundry, always have done, and it just got to the point where I wanted to make sure that we were up to date and we were using something that was in support effectively. So there are some changes and bits and pieces on that front. However, that doesn't change what these guys have been doing. We have been working our way through the Abomination Vaults. They are now officially a couple of encounters into the second. Well, technically, no, the second book started when you went and dealt with the sword and the book and all the rest of it. So we had started the second book for a while, but we're actually into the dungeon part of the second book now. They've had a couple of encounters and are now working their way through a couple of other bits and pieces, such as what appears to be some sort of surgical suite, which is what they're in now. Having entered into that surgical suite and had a look around, they noticed a number of rather disturbing things. There are three stone slabs with metal sort of tables on top. There are chains dangling near each table and the remains of what appears to be some sort of dead creature on one of the slabs. There is blood across the walls, across the floor, and across the ceilings. We will move over to our foundry and we'll run a little bit of music. Or sound, more accurately. As I believe, at the point in time that you had stepped through the door and started to look at all of these things, from the slab on which sits the dead body, a ghastly green creature had appeared to rise up out. Yeah, that sounds about like where we were, doesn't it? So we are, I believe, going straight into rolling for initiative. I'm not going to pause it because I've only got one creature to roll for. Normally I pause it because it's like, I've got 6 creatures to roll for. I'm not doing this on stream.
Don't forget, everybody can add +1 because I'm scouting.
Thank you.
You are. Well, I'm going to be very interested to see with some of my games, my other games that I do, whether or not that scouting thing is automatically baked into everybody's initiative roll. I'll be very impressed if it is, because that's one of the things that talked about before. Right. Okay. I best roll for my creature, really, haven't I? That's what I should be doing. Okay. I know where I'm at then. Okay, let's start this. No, I don't want to roll it. Oh, you're going to make me do that, aren't you? Yeah. I am going to pause this because I think some of the stuff's going to has changed again. Just give me a moment. Right. New technology problems once again. So Combat Carousel, which used to have this wonderful feature where I didn't have to roll to get a number in there. I could just click on it and edit it. For some reason, they've got rid of that. I now have to roll, and then you can click and edit it. It's awkward, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, there's a few bits and pieces. I can also see another problem, which I'm just going to get rid of. Just 1 second. All right, okay, enough faffing around. Let's get this sorted. Phelan, your initiative, please.
29.
29. Can we get the initiative of Neffy next?
Yeah. Oh god, I'm now doing maths. Hang on. 32.
32. Okay, Moz.
31.
31. Okay, and Inva.
17 plus 1 plus 9 for 27, please.
27. Okie dokie. So we'll begin this little fight. We'll do our normal thing. Just throw a little bit of the old combat music on, and drop that back. And we're going to start this one with Neffy.
So to clarify,
To
there's a
clarify,
dead body.
there's a dead body on the slab, but around that and sort of coming out of it and over the top of it is this green spectral figure.
Does it appear to be like doing anything? Like, is it like aggressive or anything?
I mean, it definitely doesn't look like it's being happy with you, no. It doesn't look happy at all. It is shrieking, it is angry, and it is most definitely coming towards you.
Okay. Okay. I mean, if I remember rightly, ghosty things need special things to hit them. Like, I don't.
You're not wrong.
I don't think I have that ability. No. My foundry is still having a think about loading. Well,
That's slightly less helpful than it could be.
yeah. Okay. I can do very little, so I'm instead gonna try recall knowledge and see if I can identify and hopefully help the party.
Okay, I can do that. That's not a problem. Recall knowledge. Okay, that is a 17 on the dice for a 27 in total for you on a creature whose baseline skill level is a 23. So you have definitely succeeded. You know that this is a spectre.
Okay.
There is nothing hugely unsurprising about what I'm about to tell you because it's stuff that you know before and you've already mentioned it, so I'm going to actually give you more than you would normally get because you've recalled it's undead, it has these features. You are entirely correct in the fact that it has damage resistance to anything apart from force or ghost touch weapons or spells. The resistance it has is also doubled if the attack is made with a non-magical source. Okay? This being a spectre has a couple of things. It doesn't have the same telekinesis kind of abilities you've seen with the poltergeists on the previous floor. So it doesn't lob things around the room. It has to get close to you and it has to hit you with its claws. It also has the capacity to do something called spectral corruption. When it makes a touch attack against the target, if you are a living target, the spectre will gain temporary hit points and the target creature must make a will saving throw. On a critical success, you're fine. On a success, you become stupefied too. So that's on a success, you still become stupefied too. If you fail, the creature becomes controlled by the spectre. It obeys the spectre's telepathic commands. This will last until your next turn. So the target creature's next turn. At which point it's no longer controlled, but it becomes stupefied too instead. Making its will saves even worse. If you critically fail, the duration is unlimited. You are permanently controlled by the spectre.
That's unpleasant.
That is unpleasant.
Something more comfortable, like Atari.
If I have things that impact undead specifically, say chill touch,
Mm-hmm.
that's say necromantic, do
Mm-hmm.
they still suffer the damage reduction?
So it's an interesting one. It would take damage reduction, but it might also then, because of the spell that you've got, take more damage because it's undead. Does that, it's so you effectively negate or whatever. It can negate certain things. There is one other thing that is really key that you should know, though, and you twig this fairly quickly. Spectres specifically do not like light. And this room is lit up like a Christmas ball because there are light sources, 3 light sources dotted throughout the room. And the creature in front of you does not look happy at the existence of those lights.
So what I'm hearing is I don't want to blind it.
I don't think the effect is specifically a sight-based one. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yes, it is. This one is having there is some adverse effect on the creature in this room because of the lights that are above the tables.
Oh.
As in, you want us
Oh.
to put the lights out? Do you want us to... Inval, what do I do?
No, it's the wrong bloody character. It's not this character that has the funky light spell. Ah! What do you do? Don't you normally hit things and run away?
Wow, I have never run away from anything. How
Shoot
rude.
things and then withdraw to a safe location.
I was going to ask
yeah,
about
you
the
would-
lights. Do you want us to put them out or leave them on?
Why are you asking me? You're the one who knows what's going on.
I don't know that much. I just know it doesn't like it.
Leave the lights then.
Okay. I start lighting another light. That's all I can do.
Indra's just got whiplash from suddenly feeling like a parent from what she thought was going to be a fight, and suddenly, Mummy, what do I do with this?
I will highlight to all of you. Not a single one of you has a non-magical source of attack. All of you have magical attacks of some description.
Oh,
So
potentially try.
So, your +1 crossbow counts as a magical source of damage. Your
Oh,
rapier
it does, doesn't it now?
counts as a magical source of damage. Your dagger of venom counts as a magical source of damage because they have magic enchantments on them, which means they are magical weapons.
No, I mean, I don't
Really,
get
we want to
that.
be using non-magical stuff, yeah? Just to recap.
That's
you-
what I learned
you-
from this, yeah?
You want to be using as much magical stuff as you can.
Okay.
Oh, good. That's fine.
Then, okay, I will attempt to shoot with crossbow.
Yeah, you as a group are not necessarily fully equipped to deal with ghosts, but you have got some means of bypassing the ridiculous amount of damage reduction that they
Okay.
get.
That is 29 to hit.
29 is absolutely a hit. Please note, it has not acted before you. You were stealthy. You get your additional damage.
So, I can never remember. What do I need to roll?
Under the assumption that it's sneak attack. What type of damage does it do? Oh, no, sorry. It's immune to precision damage, so you don't get your sneak attack.
That's no fun. Roll for 2D.
Just your 2d6.
That's okay, I'll roll 12.
Sure, I mean, that's a good start. So, you do note that the bolt hits. It does hit something in there, or it gets caught up, or it pulls a bit of the spectre away. One way or another, it does get damaged. Doesn't get damaged as much as you would like, but it does get damaged.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 2 actions. You've got 1 more left.
I reload.
You reload. Okie dokie. At that point, it's going to go next.
Goody.
So it rises up out of the sarcophagus I guess, for want of a better term, the slab that's underneath. Technically, you're not quite in it yet. It's going to then sort of float, I guess is the best term. Over to Moz.
This seems typical.
And that's all it does. It comes moving towards you, but as it goes past those lights, it's almost like it kind of shrinks away from them. It tries everything it can, and in the process of trying to get away from the lights, which it cannot get away from, it looks like it's almost wasting time or unable to move any quicker, unable to react any faster.
Okay, cool. So that's good to know.
Your turn, Moz. One thing I would say though is, could I please have everybody apart from Inver? Normally this would happen when you first enter the aura, but I've made you enter it, so I'm going to have it happen now. I'd like Moz, Neffy, and Phelan, please, to make will saving throws against the horrific, frightening presence of this thing moving towards you.
I'm going to hero point mine.
That's Neffy, yeah, please.
That's almost as bad. Yay.
Okay. Let's go with the bad then, Moz.
Hold on 30 seconds whilst I quickly skim to see if there's anything to help me. So no, I rolled a 5 plus my will is 10, so 15.
15 would be a fail. 15 would be a fail. You are frightened too in the presence of this thing. Neffy.
Okay.
27.
27. You are frightened 1 in the presence of this thing.
Jesus.
Phelan.
31.
31. You are frightened 1 in the presence of this thing. It was a 22, and you are only unaffected if you've got a critical success.
Wow.
However, everybody that's just had to make that roll is now immune for 1 minute.
So kill it within that minute. Got you.
Good to know. 10 rounds. Go.
Okay,
Easy.
Moz, your turn.
Ooh, hang on, actually, bravery. In addition, anytime you gain the frightened condition, reduce its value by 1. Due to bravery, level 3 fighter.
You are only 1 level of frightened then, not 2. And that will actually go away at the end of this end of your turn. So, you know.
You lose a reason for taking that one. Right, let's have a look. See. I vote for stabbing it in the face. That dice has been failing me. So
not surprised.
So as it runs forward, or as it moves forward, flinching away, I will roll a total of 22 to hit.
That is a miss.
And that somehow manages, as it's winkling itself away to out from the light and dodges the spear point, I will draw back and attempt to slash at it. Yeah, for a 17, which is going to do toffee apple.
I'm assuming that was an exacting strike.
Exacting strike. Yes, in a vague attempt to keep a hold of this plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
On the third one, he'll kind of reverse and having gone from a high right to low left, he'll now just come across left to right in the midriff. That's a better number. That's a 16 plus 10. 26.
26 is a hit. Now, if I recall correctly, your polearm is Ghost Touch.
It is. It is a +1 striking Ghost Touch halberd. I'm going to see how many names we can put on this thing. So, it's 2d10 plus 4. Where's my d10s gone? It's d8. 300s. I have not prepared. Failed to prepare, that's a 12.
It's only been, what,
That's
4
10.
weeks?
Oh, yeah, just hardly any time at all, really, you know.
Mhm.
There we go. 2d10s, 2 different mixes of dice. Let's see how it goes. That's a 6 and an 8 plus 4, so 18 damage.
18 damage, and all of that goes through because you have the right effect. So it shrieks at you as you slash through this thing. You can now see that it's got that sort of structure and shape of a morlock that you've seen on the floors above. So that's slightly wider eye socket space, the mostly human look. But this definitely wasn't a human. This was a morlock sort of ghost that you're attacking right now. It is Phelan's turn.
Okay. What's the term? So, reach spell. I cast big pointy teeth. Sorry, magic fang on Olarin. Which in combination is 3 actions.
Mm-hmm.
And then Olarin is going to use his single action to 1, 2. Should be able to sneak through into there.
I would ask that Olarin, on entering the aura, does a will saving throw, please.
Okay, crit fail. 1.
1. Olarin is frightened 4. Not quite fleeing, but frightened 4.
Hero point.
He does have 1.
Yeah, well, you have 1. It would be using up yours. Well, in fact, I think you've got 2 from a previous session, so you've got 1. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll use 1 up because that reroll brings it up to 32.
32. Okay, 32 would be a critical success, and he is unaffected instead. So, swings and roundabouts and all that of the hero point.
I think the hero point was well worth it there.
So, can Olarin move any further, or is that as far as he's going?
That's as far as he can get with. I think it's 25 feet for a.
Yeah.
That's as far as he can get on a single action.
Okay, that would be Inva then.
Okay. So, I have a spell for this, but first I have to be able to see what this is.
Okay, can you make a will saving throw, please, as you look around the corner and see this ghost?
I don't know. Let's find out.
You can make one, but will you pass?
Natural 20 plus 10.
Natural 20 plus... I mean, a natural 20... let's say 20 plus 10 would give you 30, which wouldn't actually be enough. But with the 20, it becomes a critical success, so you are completely unaffected by it.
Lovely. And then I've just looked at the rather insane damage on my cantrip of Disrupt Undead now I'm level 3. Because this does 3d6 plus 4 vitality damage. Against a fortitude save of 21, please.
Fortitude save against 21. Okay. Ghosts are not known to be massively fortitudinal, but they are still quite a high-level creature, so...
It's probably only got plus 30.
It's got plus 13, and I rolled a 7, so it got 20, which I believe is a fail.
Yep. So that will take 18 points of vitality damage, please.
Okay. Is there anything in Disrupt Undead which says that it bypasses... vitality, did you say?
Yes. I have no idea what it is, but...
Vitality bypasses its DR. It does not have DR against vitality. So how much damage did you say you did?
So it's 3d6 plus 4. Sorry, 3d6 plus 4 vitality for a total of 18.
18
so 14
points.
on the dice and then 4.
Okay. It shrieks at you now. So it's got a clear idea in its head of who can really hurt it. That would be Moz,
And we're the ones at
one
the
in
front and back of the line.
So I'm just going to have to go through. Okay. That's the end of the first round. Neffy, it is your turn.
Okay. So I reloaded was my last action, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to try and shoot it.
That seems like a process which makes a certain amount of sense, yep.
30.
30 is a hit.
Okay. Not so good on the damage though. 5.
Your bolt just goes whistling straight through and connects with absolutely nothing. It would appear that that was completely negated by whatever reduction it gets for being a ghost.
Mm-hmm. So do more than 5 damage. I hear ya.
Mm-hmm.
So I reload.
Okay. Just also remember that because you're standing behind Mars, it's getting cover.
Oh, of course, yeah. I reload. I am going to sidestep for next time.
Okay.
So I've reloaded. Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough then. Right, it's go. Moz, it begins to reach out hand towards you to try and touch upon your chest.
He's trying to touch me. Is that a manipulate? Because that feels
no, it is just a melee attack because they got rid of touch attacks doing attacks of opportunity. That does not happen anymore. So 9 on the dice with a plus 14 for a 23.
That's my AC by 1.
That does beat your AC by 1. Okay. So we're going to do 2d8 plus 8 damage, meaning you are going to take 17 points of damage. And as its touch comes in, you start to almost feel it try and draw your essence out of you. But as it's starting to do this, it suddenly curls over, again, leaning away from that light, trying to get as far away from it as possible. And that feeling stops.
You can't get in my skin. I'm busy occupying it. Bugger off.
And that's all it can do.
Someone light a torch on this thing. Light another torch nearby. Let's just lots of light on this thing. More light. More light.
Well, it is coming towards the ever-burning torch on my shield.
Ooh, good point.
Okay, Moz, it's your turn.
Okay. I am. Ooh, can I go for Brutish Shove? No, that is a press action. So first up, feeling slightly uncomfortable with myself. I'm feeling about half the orc I should be. I will attempt to cut its arm off. So first attack is going to be a slashing attack with the halberd, and that is an 18 on the dice, plus 15 for lots. For 33? 33.
That is exactly a crit.
Woohoo! So it's 2d8 plus 4. So is it the dice roll doubled or is it total doubled?
It's everything doubled. So it's your 2d10 plus your 4. Add that all up, double the whole lot.
17 plus 4 is 21.
Doubled.
For 42 points of damage.
You know how you said you wanted to lop its arm off? You pretty much manage it. Like, the entire ghostly section just vaporizes in a second.
Oh, yes. And if it's still alive, I am going to I will attempt to brutish shove it back in its arm.
Fair. Okay.
And I will make a second attack. That was a good dice. Let's stick with this. That's a 2 plus 10. That's 12. That's nothing.
That misses.
And there's nothing I can do with one action.
Well, you could try and attack it.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to have to be an all's hope. It's going to have to be 18 or higher for this. But with the nat 20 plus 5, because I have 25 points. Sorry,
Right.
25 to hit.
Right, so 25 would have meant it was a hit anyway. So with a natural 20, you up it, and it becomes a critical hit.
That's 7 on the dice plus 4 makes 11 for another 22 points, stabbing it in the throat.
Okay, there was literally next to none of this thing left, and just as you slice through, you catch what is its oversized skull, and while it becomes vapor and dissipates, you feel that kind of connection as you carve your way up through the skull, and the whole thing just disperses and disappears in front of you. There is no sign of the creature. No sign of it anymore.
Oh, can I do my spirit lamp gathering remnants thing? Because it was a spiritual-ish type being. Was it a spiritual-ish type being?
It's an incorporeal undead, so I'm going to say yes. So yes,
Do
you
I
are
get a
able
wisp
to.
or a remnant?
Right, I will need to have a look at this because it's a weird thing that you can do.
It affects the power. It affects the power of the effects that I can do with it.
Considering the state of the creature, I would say it's probably the lesser of the two. So whatever.
So wisp, I think.
A wisp, yeah.
Thank
At
you.
this point, because it's something that's been stuck down here in a very poor state, and for whatever reason was really, really, really struggling to kind of, survive and be alive, really. So, yeah. It's
I have to remember what it is I can do, but yes. Cool. Thank you.
okay. I have assigned you the appropriate XP.
Almost
And
a Bon
you
Jovi
are-
point.
You are left. You're very close to the Bon Jovi point, this is true.
A well-spent magic fang spell.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Okay. What do you want to do? You have dealt with, or appear to have dealt with, whatever was in this room.
Invar, you're mostly inclined in the way of poking widgery things and knowing what they do. Is it still widgery in here?
I don't know, is it?
Also, ow.
Also, ow. Where you are stood, Inver, you do not note any signs of spirits.
No, it does become a remnant. You brandish your spirit dwelling at the location where a haunt, ghost, or other incorporeal undead was destroyed within the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Pray or recite the ritual incantations. You coax the spirit remnant into your dwelling.
Where you are.
Wisps are the random bits that I can pick up in my daily preparations, but it looks like I actually get
So
random
there you are.
from this.
You actually got
I'd
a
forgotten.
remnant.
It's been so long since I've been able to use it. Cool, thank you.
Right, I'm going to chase Mozron with some bandages.
It wasn't going to move very far or very fast.
Yeah.
Just hear the
Not a
Benny
Benny
Hill
Hill
theme playing on.
Uh-huh.
Look, just 'cause it's a nice warm encapsulating poultice to deal with those spiritual chills.
Yes, please put that chili oil all across the flesh burnt bits of my chest.
Just wash your hands before you go for a pee.
Well, I tell you what, I'll let you rub it on, and then you wash your hands before I go for a pee.
Well, you need my assistance for that.
I mean, think.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's your wasp name, not your ego.
Ah, gotcha.
Right.
Could chip a latte down a mine shaft otherwise.
You can have 5 hit points back for now, and we'll see if we need to throw some healing spells around in a bit.
Okay. Right. Anything else being done?
Can I investigate the dead body?
You can. On popping over that way, you have a look over it. It is what remains of a morlock body. It would appear that it was very much experimented on. Yeah.
I mean, it appears to correlate with the one that we just fought, I'm presuming.
I mean, it would line up. Yeah, it would line up.
What about the lights? You said there were 4 lights?
There are 3 lights, one above each table.
4 lights. 4 lights. There are 4 lights.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Gull Warner.
You just
Can
sit in the
I-
corner and eat an egg.
Can I investigate the lights and see if there's anything special about them?
Okay. When you kind of look up at them and everything else, it's not a light like you would expect, like a torch or something like that. It's not an ever-burning torch. It would appear to be a small piece of metal. The problem is how high up it is. You'd have some serious effort to get up to actually get to these things.
Hey, Mars, let me climb on your shoulders.
But it would
Joel,
appear,
where are we going?
as you get up to see it, there's what appears to be like a section of the roof. Like there's a metal pin that probably comes from the top down. So you're not going to remove these things, and then the end of that has been enchanted with some sort of magic light. As you get closer to it, you struggle to look at it. You realise it is not a normal light spell. In fact, potentially it is a spell used to mimic sunlight.
Oh. Okay.
We should clearly
Like a
rob
whole
one of
bunch
those if we can.
climbing gear. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of climbing gear, including pulleys and ropes. I reckon, with enough brute force and effort, we could probably pull one of these off the ceiling, maybe.
Your downside is you realise that there is a slight issue. These are like your 1,000 lumen torches, but they're not. They're done on a really tiny level. So effectively, they put bright sunlight directly onto the table, and just around them, which is why the spirit creature was struggling, because he kept on going through the sunlight, which is why he had a problem. If he was further away from the tables, he would have been fine. But yeah, you do note that they are... The problem that you would probably have with them is any creature down here will see these lights as you walk around with them. You can't hood them. You try and even cover them with your hand, and they are still just bright light straight down through if you put a bright light right next to your hand, you can still see it through your hand. Yeah, these you could not cover it. You could not hide it. Yep.
Bag of holding.
Bag of holding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to find a way we can strap one of these to my halberd so I can have a light weapon.
Okay.
Oh God. Oh my.
I am going to guess you spend some time doing this. If you really truly want to, because you're going to have to piece them out of the ceiling. It will take you some time. I have no problems with this. You are more than welcome to do it. If you want to use them as actual portable torches, this could be fun and entertaining for me, but we will see.
Moz sees the benefit of having bright light in the way of sunlight versus undead critterati that are living down here.
It's like we run into the great and powerful vampire, and have some of this, pal.
Glass in your immediate face.
The only thing I would say is by the wording of the description, it is not the sunlight spell. It is just an effect light like sunlight. So it would not have an effect on certain creatures that are affected by sunlight. This one was because of what it is, but I might take a dim view to you trying to use it on vampires if such things are in here.
That's it.
Vampire
Viewers,
might
you
not
identify
know.
there are vampires down here. Is it confirmation by the GM?
Well, okay. So yes, you could take the time to deal with this and all the rest of it. The only thing I'm going to say to this whole process is I would want 3 athletics checks from whoever is piecing these things out. And as a note, you will need somebody at the bottom carrying that person up to the ceiling. So it cannot be the person at the bottom doing this.
Neffy, for this climbing gear I've got, you reckon you could just put some crampons in and I'll just yank it down from the roof? Climb up it and pull it down.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure that would work.
Not trying to circumvent the GM.
But using the tools we have available.
I've got a climbing kit and I intend to use it, damn it.
Okay. I will let you use the climbing kit. Moz, can I have an athletics check, please, as you try and pull the first one? Or try and maneuver yourself so that you can get all of this arrangement to work.
Come on, shiny red dice from luck. That's a 19 plus 11.
Okay. You manage to work out a way of clambering up using your pitons. You get up the wall. You start to sort of get a bit of rope and you hook it on and tie it in a way that you know it's not going to fall off. And then you use your body weight and you swing across the room and this thing pulls out of the ceiling, dunk onto the floor, and you have one of them. Slightly scuffed knees and a few sort of bruises you know that you're going to have after having achieved that, but it did work.
Ow. Ow. Hang on a minute. Could take me a minute. Does anybody else want to go? Just, no. Oh.
You seem to be having so much fun.
I'm really
as a
not
note,
good at that.
As a note, you just did that in a heavy breastplate as well.
Yeah. There's that mental knowledge of, yes, having run around wearing heavy armor in the past. Thumping 4 foot plus down to the floor is not fun. It's somewhat sore on the knees.
Yeah, the knees are the problem. The knees are the real problem, yeah. Yeah, it's not the fact that the ceilings here are about 15 foot up.
Let's totally the knees.
Nothing to do with that.
My core! Okay, that's a 2. How much damage do I take for being stupid?
It's less the damage you take. As you start to climb up this time, you realise it's not quite working out as well as you would hope. And you begin to fall backwards off the wall. You know you're going to land on one of the slabs. So you reach out and try and grab hold of anything that's nearby. And if you remember in my description earlier, I said there was a chain hanging at the end of each slab. You grab hold of that and you feel it drop as a pulley system activates. I'd like you to make another athletics check, please, because as you start to swing down, you notice, and everybody else does, that the slab that you're about to fall on swings like a trapdoor to a 40-foot drop.
Woohoo!
Oh.
That's 11 plus 11 for 22.
DC 20 athletics check to not fall down that hole.
I was lucky.
It's good that I got backup characters, but yeah, that's not good.
This surgical room has a disposal system,
Lovely.
which you just found out about.
Oh, I don't feel too good about
that
this one again. Yeah, let's try the third one and like not do anything from it. So, whose shoulders am I going to stand on? Neffy, come over here. I want to stand on your shoulders.
Okay, sure.
Neffy, make a strength check.
I can try that. Wait. What am I doing?
16 stone of all.
Strength.
16.
So, how much do you weigh, Moz, with all of your stuff on? Do you know?
Well, I used to have it on the old character sheet. Let's have a quick look at what my inventory says. Max bulk 14, carried bulk 6-9.
So you are, from what I can see, you are currently carrying 6 bulk worth of stuff.
Yep.
Plus your weight, which is entirely separate. Neffy can carry a maximum.
24 strength.
Neffy can carry a maximum of 8 bulk, and he's already carrying 5.
Neffy might want to put some stuff down, as might Moz.
Neffy tries to lift Moz.
There's a lot of sweat. Like...
There's a lot of exertion and a lot of noises and not a lot of movement.
Look, I said lift me. I said hold my leg and lift me, not hold my leg and make sex noises. Let me just grab the rope. I've got the crampons again.
Try your athletics check again.
That's another 19 plus 11.
Okay, this one again. You get up. You manage to tie this one up. You swing on this one with all the weight and everything you've got, and you do manage to yank another one of these sort of spikes out. They're about 2.5, 3 foot. These spikes by the time you get them out of the ceiling. So it goes beyond the point of being a torch at this point. They are about the size of a sword with basically a glowy end. They're also really heavy. These are clearly not designed to come out of the ceiling. But they also weren't designed for somebody to be swinging on them, which is why you've managed to get them out of the place in the first place.
Is it pink with swinging from the chandeliers?
You come to the conclusion after looking at them that one, they are completely useless if you ever got into a fight, but they would be a really, really good way of lighting a house if you ever had one.
Can we actually fit these, as they are in the bag of holding? Are they a bit long?
Opens up the bag of holding and they just drop all the way in.
About a 3 ain't bad. We'll take that. I'll take that. I'm not risking the third one. If anyone wants to be like all whippy and Indiana Jonesy and go and get the other one, I'm not feeling that 40-foot drop.
Wrong character for that, I'm afraid.
Okay.
This is I do appreciate Pathfinder.
That. So, with the climbing and the falling and the swearing and the swinging and the added weight and all the rest of it, you reckon you probably spent a good 2 to 3 hours in this room.
Right. I'll patch Boss up again then.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, I can patch him up every hour.
You could, yeah.
Patch ups.
Oh, can I get somewhere in there, please, as well?
You can indeed. So,
can I have some?
Mods can have 2 and 4 for a grand total of 6. Ingvar can have.
Thank you, Faye.
8 and 5 for a total of 13. And Neffy can have 11 and 5 for a total of 16.
So while Moz is busy swinging from the
rafters,
torches,
chandelier,
Can I make sure I've refilled my focus points and, all the other didn't meditate for 10 minutes stuff?
Yes.
Cool.
Just as a very small note, as soon as you started doing this, I have written down on a piece of paper, episode name, Chandelier. So yes, there may well be some lyrics coming in from a certain song.
I'm glad you didn't go for swingers. That might attract other traffic.
It would. Right. Okay. You, as I said, you spent about 3 hours in this room. There is still double doors opposite this room, which you haven't gone in. There is a corridor also heading south you have not done anything with.
We were trying to work round in some sort of order, weren't we? Weren't we trying to walk round this way, Nat? Because it might link up with somewhere else we've already been.
Yeah, I think also you was detecting strange spirity voodoo in this direction, which I think we might have just found.
Yeah, you're pretty sure there's no more spirity stuff in the area. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah, I think you're right on the moving around as a loose circuit. It's just, do we cross over the path or do we try somewhere else?
I don't mind. Have we looked for hidden doors?
No.
I don't know. I've been busy climbing up.
Maybe we should do that too.
Okay. I mean, we've found at least one hidden thing, which is the big hole in the sarcophagus. So I wouldn't recommend looking too far down that, but absolutely take a gander.
By all means, people move themselves around. Get yourself shifted where you're going. Your frightened conditions will all be gone, so I will just drop those from those that still have it. There you go. Searching this room, there is nothing else. Absolutely nothing.
And there is nothing weirdly spiritual woo-woo from this position, or if I stood over here.
Okay. It's a perception check, isn't it? Effectively.
Yes.
You get to perceive if there's anything, and you don't detect anything as you move around, no.
Okay, cool. Oz, did you take your healing that you were given? Are you still this broken?
No, I'm still this broken. I'm about,
Okay.
I'd say I'm 45 on a scale of 77, but I'm definitely better than I used to be.
45 on a scale of 77. Because you can be that accurate. Roughly speaking.
The way you should be.
Yeah. I'm more than half the orc I used to be, and I think I'm better than I was to the start of this fight, so, I'll be fine.
What am I colliding with? Seriously, which wall?
Right, where are people going? What are people doing? Are we sticking with the exploration activities that I have you listed for?
Yep.
Scout.
Sneak.
Scouts and sneaks and all
doors
the
over the way.
Not an advert for an energy drink. Just a statement of how I move.
In fact, just for the benefit, this is the nice thing, just for the benefit of people watching, I can actually show you. There you go. That is the party tab on the exploration, and you can see what activities they're doing. Technically, the badger is scouting. It doesn't gain any other benefit to everybody. You don't get extra initiative because 2 people are scouting. But it does make sense for the badger to be scouting, so we'll do that. Right. Those people that are actively searching get a roll. Okay. You get out of this corridor, you start standing around here. Phelan, you're listening out for stuff, you kind of trying to pay attention to everything that's going on. This is one of those really horrible, like eerily quiet places. The corridors themselves, there's no sense of movement of air or anything, it's just stillness. Absolute stillness everywhere. You can, however, looking around here at the moment, there are things like links from chains that you've spotted, just sort of debris lying around, bits of rusted scrap metal. Now that you're out here, you're spotting other bits and pieces. Something that looks like maybe a claw from a creature, broken off just like in the corner. Maybe something that might have been a shell or part of a shell of another creature, just sort of scattered amongst the rubble that's around here. But listening at this door, you do not hear any sounds coming from the other side.
Okay.
Go first.
Mozzie stood there.
Who's going through first then? Who's having a look-see?
Unlikely to be me, is it?
All right. Is the door locked or otherwise? Or?
Doesn't appear to be. You cannot see any indication of a lock, nor does Phelan spot anything which would be an indication of a trap.
Right. I guess I'll reach over and push this door open. The one that Olerin is in front of.
Yep, that's fair enough. Shelves of dusty bottles and surgical equipment line the walls in this room. Cobwebs and dust hint that this chamber has remained untouched for quite some time. At the centre of the room stands a solitary pushcart.
Now needs a Holocaust cloak.
The Dwed Power Robert.
Okay, that is what you see.
So
You
this
have
door
a
as
shift
well,
in.
and
Take a shufty inside.
bottles.
Yeah, bottles, absolute bottles everywhere. In fact, as things sort of start moving on, you have a decent kind of look around and poke about, and I'm going to do it as an object that you can open. That just there is kind of like a collective of all of the loot that's in this room. So in here, there are healer's tools, as well as an expanded healer's tools kit. So two, one standard, one expanded set. In fact, two normal, one expanded set, as well as a collection of alchemical reagents. Probably worth about 10 gold, roughly speaking. Sort of thing that Phelan can sort of work out. Are people actually spending the time to search, or is this kind of just like ripping through here as quickly as you can?
Let's search.
I'll keep more on watch, so keep the scouts up.
Okay, anybody else doing anything? Anybody else searching?
I'll be searching.
You'll be searching.
I'm strongly on the Rob.
You're strongly on the roll. Okay. So, Neffy only got a 2 on the dice.
Ooh.
So you did not succeed, but everybody else did, those that are searching. In addition to sort of digging through and various bits and pieces, one of either Phelan or Invar, I don't mind which of the two of you it was, you spot something glinting behind one of the shelves. And with a little bit of work and a little bit of sort of inching it out, you find a key. It is the key has a rounded shaft, which is tipped with several teeth of varying length. And it's just sort of got this simple, rounded design. So in your inventory, your party inventory, the new one, I am putting a round key.
So can I use psychometric assessment on that?
You can, yes. So how long? Explain that one, because I don't think we've actually really done it.
I haven't, no, so just because I'm excited about it. You spend a minute concentrating on an object that you are touching. Oh, hang on. Requirements. Your hands are touching an object in which you detected psychometric resonance. It's not entirely clear how I was supposed to do that, to be fair.
No, I think on this one I'm just going to say yes, you do. A lot of things around here. Yep.
Yeah, I was also going to go for the healer's tools, but then you said key, so... you spend a minute concentrating on the object to get a vision of the face of the person who imbued the item with such emotion in the first place.
Okay.
If its associated emotion is painfully negative, you might take 1d6 mental damage, according to the GM.
Okay. So you're going to get an impression of the person that's down here.
You get a vision of the face of the person who imbued the item with such emotion. So, for whatever reason that it's resonated in a way that I've gone, ooh, that's got a funky feel to it, that's got some memories. When I then pick it up and think about it, I see the face of the person, which since the player is face blind and can't recognise faces, it's just amazing to try and play.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. I really wouldn't. So you get to see the face of the thing, and I'm going to say it very carefully. Okay, so you do get an impression. This is a very important key, or it was a very important key around here.
Yep.
And things start to come into focus, and you start recognizing a sort of face. You think you do, and then you're not so sure, and then it starts to come into focus. And what you see is that.
What the bloody hell is that?
Oh, that's fairly horrific.
Horrifying.
You know how it says if it's a fairly horrific vision, you might take some damage?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see a giant...
but yeah.
You see a giant worm-like creature with a lamprey-style mouth and 3 claws attached to that, staring back at you.
So if I roll my d6, I get 2 points of damage?
Yeah, I would say that's fair. Yeah, as you reel back while concentrating on this key.
Yeah. Well, that's horrible.
And it does not fall off.
I will roughly describe the picture we've just seen. And now I'm wondering what limbs it had in order to hold the key in the first place.
Whose limbs
Much
it
less
has.
opposable thumbs to wield it. Ah, now there we go. That's how you get the opposable thumbs.
Borrow them from somebody else.
Okay. There is a brief
Like a horror
description.
knowledge track.
So, if anybody wants to, please wave your hand at me for a knowledge check on that creature. I'm going to say it's particularly difficult, seeing as most of you didn't see it. Neffy, are you bothering or not?
Is this the worm from What the Worm Knows?
No.
I mean, it could be.
It's in terms of the research you did into What the Worm Knows, you've already encountered that creature.
Oh yeah, we have,
That's
haven't
up
we?
in the lab.
Because no, not up in the lab. No. Do you remember the guy that turned himself into a pool of various insects? Yeah, that's what that book was all about.
One in the locket. I love her.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
I will do an attempt to
So,
thingy. Wow.
none of you have any idea. Not a clue what that thing was. You go through the description, You try and understand what it was, and all you get back from this is, what the hell is this thing? And we're going to leave that one at that. That's it for this time. We're going to take a break. We're going to go grab drinks, and we'll be back recording for the episode that you'll see in a week's time. So, see you all later. Bye-bye for now.